to Law and Order SVU here on FANVERSATION. I am Yael Tygiel. This is Taylor Gates. Hello, Taylor.
Hello. I just have to say, last episode we talked about King of the Moon, and this episode we talked about the King of Kale. Baby, let's go.
The King of Kale.
Yeah.
Oh, all right. This is season 24, episode 16, The Presence of Absence. Before we jump into it, really before we jump into it, if you need help, please reach out to RAINN. Their number is 1-800-656-4673. 1-800-656-4673. They have a chat online. It is anonymous. If you have been assaulted, please reach out to them. Taylor, tell us what 4673 spells.
It spells hope.
It does spell hope because RAINN is there if you need them. Please, again, reach out if you need help. I am taking that message very seriously because I'm about to say some wild shit. If you have never been to the SVU podcast here on FANVERSATION, or when we were at AfterBuzz and we were called something else, please consider this your content warning. This episode is fucking bonkers. It is out of this world. It's my favorite episode of the season. And I absolutely love it. And I'm going to say all sorts of crazy shit.
Here's the thing.
Yes.
This episode had fucking everything.
Yes.
It had BDSM. It had evil girl boss. It had
girl on girl action.
Theater tricks, fucked up dynamics. It was kind of theater tricks, but opposite. And I think that, don't you agree?
Oh shit, yeah.
It's literally theater tricks, but like flipped, and we loved theater tricks, and so we of course loved Presence of Absence, which I don't like the title, but that's the only thing I didn't like about it. So,
Doreen says Twitter hated this episode.
Sorry, you guys hate fun.
Yeah, where the fuck are you? What are you watching?
Like, listen, fun is a bad word. You've already had the disclaimer. I want to say it too, but like, I love a twisty, turny, whack. And here's the thing: yes, did it show? I don't know what this episode was trying to say, and I don't care, frankly.
Who cares?
Who cares?
Listen, let's not look for a message in an episode titled "The Presence of Absence."
Yes, yeah, so true.
Especially when it should be called "The Absence of Present." But whatever. Alexa says, "Wishing I haven't been on Twitter before watching it."
Can you give us specifics of what people
They complain about the writing, I guess. Friends. Oh no. Okay, well, hold on. First of all, here's the quick cap. An internet dating site becomes the source of terror for a young widow. Muncie struggles with Velasco's absence. Okay. Muncie and Velasco, whatever. Churlish has a temporary transfer to Manhattan. She butts head with Muncie, and she's now joining our team. There was like a quote last episode about her being the new stray. Whatever. That's that. Let's move on to the actual case because this episode was fucking great.
It was wild.
I would like specifics that people hated on the internet because I absolutely love this episode.
I'm wondering, and this is just putting it there, I'm wondering if it is like, I feel like you could potentially construe this episode as like the evil, like repressed gay person, whatever. However, that's not how I saw it. And I think I'm allowed to speak on that as a queer woman. You know what I'm saying?
I was about to say, as two queer women, I feel like at no point did I think that she's not, because that's not what happened.
Yes.
Yeah, it's about power.
I'm just wondering if that is a critique. Like I said, I have not seen the critique. That's just a random assumption. But I'm wondering if that's part of it, and I don't agree. So,
I 100% can understand why that was it, why that could have been a critique. But I'm with you that isn't what happened.
Also, like, we need more evil girl bosses. Like, come on.
Absolutely. I want to give a whole bunch of shout outs right now. So this episode was directed by Norberto Barba. We love Barbas. Yes. Also written by Brianna Yellen and Brendan Feeney.
You guys are legends. Okay.
Amazing. Also some shout outs. We had Eden Malin, sorry, as Zoe, Tori Trowbridge as Jenna. Who that performance of Jenna was reminiscent of Lily Reinhard in Why Not?
Why not?
Yes, right?
I have to say, I was so proud of myself. The minute those two were on screen, I'm like, this girl is sketchy as fuck. Like, there is no way this girl didn't have something to do with this shit.
You know what's so funny? The moment where the suggestion was oh, maybe someone's trying to get her pregnant. Like right when they find out that it was the DNA or whatever, was when after they talked to Cooper and they were like, huh, somebody was trying to get her pregnant. I went, it was the BFF. That was it. That was the moment I went, it was fucking her.
I literally knew it was her from this second they were together. I'm so serious. I was like, there's something off about this girl. Like there's something evil in her aura. There just is.
I have to, ooh, the props. First of all, friends, the BDSM of it all. What have I been asking for? What have I been asking for? Who loved it? The idea of this Dom sub relationship that was mostly over text. And then when they were in person, there wasn't even, because who people, BDSM does not have to include sex. It can be just about the power dynamic and submitting to someone. And so the idea that they hadn't done, like he hadn't penetrated her before. Ooh, loved it. Beautiful.
Yeah.
Fucking beautiful. And then the use of safe words. Ooh, do not get me started.
They did a pretty good job of, I think, like delving into what is like safe and consensual, like BDSM versus what is obviously
TV.
not, and what is toxic and what is like bad representation. And I think that they distinguished that pretty well. And I think the actress that played, I don't remember the girl's name. Who's the main girl?
Zoe, the victim?
Zoe. Yeah. I thought that she was like great. And she, like, I believed her when she was, you know what I mean? Because I don't know. I feel like sometimes people wouldn't like fully commit, whatever. I thought she was fantastic in this role.
Yeah. Okay, so Twitter was complaining about the plot, saying it was a mess. Mess or twists? Twist after twist after twist after twist. It was fucking great.
Yeah, come on. Like, it was classic wild SVU.
It was Send in the Clowns.
It was Send in the Clowns, baby.
I have to say, I have been dying to talk about this episode since it aired.
Yeah.
And I'm so glad I didn't spoil any of it for you. And I was like,
surprised the whole time.
I was so excited, right? Because it starts. Oh, okay. So Klaus, let's talk about Klaus. Friends, some advice if you're on a dating app: screenshot the photo and reverse image search. Always.
Yep.
For those who don't know,
you don't watch Catfish, Zoe. Come on.
I mean, I don't watch Catfish, but I was catfished recently, and I discovered it when I reverse image searched and found the model whose photos were being used. Yep. Yeah. Ooh, okay. So first of all, yes, reverse image search. Klaus sounds fake. No offense to any guys named Klaus.
He's Swedish.
Yeah. Oh, what? I'm looking through my notes and I'm just so happy. I love this episode so much.
Yeah.
Pick somewhere to start.
Okay. I mean, where do you start?
Right?
Truly.
Let's talk about Cooper. Okay. The nephew. Okay. First of all, that was an amazing twist, right? So like,
okay, for a second, I have to say, they were like, it matches your dead husband. I was like, is he not dead? That would have been also an amazing twist. I'm like, Absolutely. Is he alive? Is he faking his death? Like, that's insane.
I agree. I thought for a second it was like going to be a long lost twin brother, the way it was with the guy from Grey's Anatomy.
Yeah.
Great episode. I thought long lost twin brother because it wasn't a familial DNA match. I loved that it was the nephew. I also love, I'm going to say it even though it's such a good line, she's my aunt. That's only hot in porn.
Yes.
Brilliant.
Made a
Absolutely.
lot of like sneaky little nephews in these 2 episodes that we're talking about today.
Yes. It's always the nephew, friends.
It's the nephew.
If it's not the husband, it's the nephew.
The nephew. Look into them, okay?
Oh shit. The Milo Ventimiglia episode also was not the husband. It was the nephew.
Keep an eye on them. Just saying.
Mind blown, everyone. Okay. So let's talk about Jenna's whole deal.
She's bored. Okay.
Yeah, I think that, see, again, right? Like, there's no way it's this repressed, right? Like, she's just bored and wanted.
Has she ever heard of a hobby? Like, just,
this is her hobby. Zoe's her hobby.
I know, but like, it was giving, like, in another world, like, Jenna is on an HBO miniseries. Like, she is part of the Big Little Lies group. Like, there, you know what I mean? Like, in another world, if she had just started like drinking more wine or something, like, that's where she would have ended up. But she went this direction, and that's what she's on SVU instead.
You know why? It's because she doesn't have other friends, right? Like, her only friend is Zoe. She needs a mom group.
Yes.
She wouldn't have done this if she had
a mommy blog.
A mommy blogger, like a mom group, like the PTA, like Bad Moms, right? Like, she wouldn't have done this if she was on Bad Moms.
You're so right. Honestly, that's the key to like getting crime down. Is just like putting people in Bad Moms and making them watch Bad Moms. And I agree.
I think what confused me the most, and I assume it was because we needed to throw us off the track, but the idea that Jenna brought her in to the police station, right? It was like she was raped. That's, first of all, why would you do that? Why would you do that? And second of all, later when she texts her and she's like, I just want to apologize before I go, as Klaus. And I went, we already are in the investigation. Why would she wanted to get caught.
Yeah.
I thought she was smarter than that.
No.
Up until that point, she was a gentle dom who respected boundaries. Yes, sexy. Nothing sexier than a gentle dom who respects your boundaries.
Yeah, unfortunately, that came to an end.
I also, okay, here are some things I appreciated from Carisi, actually. One, I appreciated him reminding us that rape by fraud is not a law in New York. That's not a thing. Because if you recall, one of the greatest episodes with Hudson's admissions counselor, the janitor, who claimed that he was Hudson's admission counselor. Rape by fraud, not a thing. So interesting to bring that up. Appreciated it. And then, in the courtroom, let's talk about in the courtroom. Though you may have consented to Jenna in the past, did you consent to her the night in question?
Yep.
Thank you for finally asking the fucking question, Carisi.
Yes. And I will say Churlish had a good point where she knows the law. She was like, that's not considered this technically, but we could get around that. I was like, yes, go off. Like, you know what you're doing. You know what you're talking about. You're coming for Carisi's job, actually, maybe.
Ooh. I would like that.
Me too. I like her.
Yes, thank you, Doreen. Imposter was the episode I was thinking of. Thank you. You guys know I literally could tell you the guest stars and the storyline, but not the episode title. So twist about the DNA familiar match that it was the nephew. Twist that it was Jenna. Twist that they fucked in college.
Yeah.
Oh, such good twists, friends.
Yes.
Twist that she decided that her friend should get pregnant. I'm gonna be honest. I'm gonna say some shit all of a sudden. Friends, as you may or may not know, I have no interest in children, but people with children are always like, no, you should have children. And I fucking loved how shitty Jenna was. Like, her life would be more complete if she had another fucking person.
Which is so, which is so funny because, like, is your life complete?
Right, you're bored.
You
You're
would
so
hate
bored.
everything about your life, and you want her to have your, like, make that make sense, babe. Like, come on.
People with kids are always doing shit like that.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I think all of my things are quotes at this point. I love this episode so much.
Yeah, it literally is theater tricks, but flip-flop it. And I think that's great. And I would watch a million more theater tricks, but flip-flop it in just different ways.
Because although it is theater tricks, but flip-flopped, it feels different and new.
Well, yeah, and I mean the dynamic is so different because theater tricks is like jealous because she like gets everything, and this is like I'm just bored, frankly. Like, okay, garden or something, you know, like I don't know, do something like that.
But it wasn't just that. There's again, one of my quotes, right? Have you ever potty trained a child? They cry, but in the end, you know what's best for them. It's not just boredom; it's power.
Yeah,
it's
100%.
And I can understand. I almost feel like it would have been not more interesting, but it would have been interesting if she had been like, I wanted the power to help her get through this. And I wanted her to feel empowered. I don't know. I just feel like power.
In a
more
way,
than boredom.
it was kind of interesting because it's maybe a strange comparison, but it kind of reminded me of like when you are like caretaker to like a sick like parent, grandpa, whatever, you know, like, and we've had some like revenge stories of that where they're just like, I couldn't take it anymore, I blah blah blah. It was kind of like that because she did sort of take care of her for like 2 years or a year or whatever after her husband passed. So I feel like maybe there was like, and it wasn't like the point of the episode, but I feel like maybe there was like some resentment there too that she was like kind of looking after her, and she was finally like, well, I'm gonna get something out of this too now. You know,
so I totally think that there was that. She said, you know, her husband died the same month I gave birth to my son, and then we had 2 children in the house. And so I totally agree there was resentment. I think it's interesting that she then was trying to saddle her with a kid.
Yeah, here's your ball and chain, baby.
Right. And think that it was doing her a favor. That's such a, not to keep harping on people with children, but that's such a fucking people with children thing to do.
Yeah, honestly.
Yeah. I think so, it's another quote. I'm gonna wait. I'll wait.
You have to wait because I have some too. You can't steal them all.
I know. So interestingly, Jenna doesn't think that she did anything wrong, which I found even more fascinating.
Yeah. I don't want her to go to jail. Bitch, what? Like, frankly, what?
No, but Jenna, Zoe, yes, that was Zoe. I'm talking about Jenna.
Oh, yes, sorry. I'm getting the names confused because they're so basic. But yes, they are. Sorry, but
okay.
No offense to anyone named both of those. I know plenty of people with both those names who I like, but like, I don't know. They're both just so, you know, white girl names.
Sorry, most names seem really generic to me. So
I know, but you know what I mean? It's like Zoe, Jenna. I don't remember who's who. Like, they are so interchangeable in terms of the names. Jenna
bad, Zoe good.
Okay.
All right. Sure. So Jenna wanted to fight the trial. I think that she really did remind me of Lily Reinhardt.
Yeah.
Yeah. Good performance. Stop yawning.
Sorry, I'm tired.
Not only did we have a safe word, we learned what the safe word was. We learned that it was used. We learned the origin of the safe word. And we learned why Jenna claims, I didn't hear it over her moans of pleasure. Who, Jenna?
What a defense, honestly.
What a defense. I think also when her husband finally has one line. Oh, let's give him a shout out. 1 second.
That guy.
Friends, our husband was Charles Warburton. Oh, also Cooper was Gabriel Sidney Brown. There we go. The husband's one line was, "You cheated on me and didn't tell me." Are you mad that she cheated, or are you mad that she didn't tell you? I want to know which part.
A sad little sack. He said
Which
he is
part-
180 pounds water of a man.
Yes, 100%.
That was like a fun little courtroom stunt, though, I have to say. Like, that was giving Barba,
100%.
turn the lights out. What color tie am I wearing?
Sir, I'm colorblind.
That's the point.
No, I
can't even recognize your own husband. I want to know, like, who did she actually think he was going to bring up there? Like, you have a good guess.
It was a 50-50 shot that it was the girl.
Pretty decent guess.
Also, to be fair, his test, right, was, can you in the dark recognize this person? Yet earlier we discussed that she was blindfolded.
Right.
In the dark. Blindfold her and see if she could tell you who's in front of her.
Yeah, there's just a whole other level of it.
Yeah, I also think it's so interesting, this idea, after we reveal that they had sex in college, or had sexual encounters in college, that Jenna's lawyer kept being like to Zoe, you couldn't tell who it was, like you didn't recognize her smell or her what she feels like. And I'm like, first of all, she didn't feel her, right? She already explained that she wasn't allowed to touch. And second of all, I would say that in that moment, it would not occur to you, because you have a picture in your head of who's there. You're not going to, unless something is drastically different, like she reaches out and grabs a tit, she's going to be like, this is who it is.
Exactly. Yeah.
Bad lawyer.
Yes.
I mean, not a bad lawyer, but you know what I mean.
Kinda.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Sorry. My notes are just, it says safe word, consent, safe word. I love it. I love it so much. Okay. Should we do best lines then?
Yes.
Because I have so many.
Same.
Okay, go.
I get to go first.
Yeah.
Okay, well, King of Kale, we already discussed at the top. He's the male equivalent of a Nissan Altima. What a sad thing to say about someone, honestly. Honestly, some of these were from our squad, our newbies. Velasco's motorcycle isn't downstairs for the third day in a row. That's good detective work, Muncie. She is such a bitch to her. I swear to God, she hates her so much. And it's so funny. She didn't shake my hand when I first started. You were brought here by the way of Duarte. You're like, she didn't throw up a gang sign. It's like, you are so harsh. Okay, here's the thing. This line, he got off on me blindfolding myself with my dead husband's neckties. Here's the thing. Kink, totally. Like, the blindfolding, it's the dead husband's neckties that really was like, okay, that's maybe a little bit interesting. It's not just any tie.
Yes. So honestly, the idea that she was like, it was cathartic. Like, he was helping me through this therapy. I'm like, first of all, no, that's not what this was. I do it. If you enjoyed that and it made you feel good, fine. But that doesn't feel like therapy.
Right. I was like blindfolding myself. Cool. Necktie? Great. Got it. Dead husband's necktie. Now we're taking things to a level that's maybe not just like casual BDSM. That's a little pointed.
It feels, that kind of almost makes it feel personal, but also,
yeah.
I think that if I were her, I would have been like, no. Nope, that's the line.
Maybe we buy a nude necktie, you know?
Right, like
maybe we can get a fresh one.
Your necktie, or like we have our special necktie, but no, you want to choose from my husband's Also, it's only been a couple of years. Yeah. Like, that feels too soon for me. But you know what? We're not going to shame her. That
exactly. I'm not going to shame her for that. I was just like, that request feels off, you know?
It makes me really wonder, because later she says that he respected her boundaries. Girl, what were your boundaries? Because they seem real fluid.
Honestly,
Where did you draw the line?
Yeah, I don't know. She's into some stuff.
Good for her.
Good for her.
All right, go on.
I got a fantasy and it involves you going back to the Bronx. I think that was my favorite because the way it was delivered was so unhinged. I'm like, you are going to get your ass fired.
Yes.
But that's why I like Muncie, man. She just keeps it spicy. She's my aunt that's only hot in porn. We already said it, but we have
such
to
a good
again.
one.
It's worth saying again. I'm a donor. In the last 2 years, a really popular one. All right, Cooper. We're gonna need a swab, but unfortunately, this one doesn't pay at all. Again, we're not shaming. It's what you do with it. But the delivery of I felt his penis go inside me, but like I said, it was pretty micro. I really enjoyed. And finally, when did you decide to become the sperm fairy?
Yes, such a good one.
Yeah, those were all I had.
Those were all so good. I think I'm just looking through my. Oh yeah, just a couple to add. So I'd said earlier I didn't hear it over the hormones of pleasure, her using the safe word, and then this one, not a fun one, but a good line. It's Benson to Churlish. She says, "Even when you do everything right, you don't always win." Mm-hmm. And that is important. Yes, the sperm fairy was so good.
Sperm fairy.
Great question. Back to the micro penis. I think that because you had said that you picked up on it being Jenna early on.
Yes.
At the moment when she came in, she was raped and she brought in the lingerie and she's explaining what happened. And she says that he didn't penetrate her until that last night. And by the time I said stop, he came. And essentially he was small and fast. And that was when I was like, oh, it's going to be someone like young and inexperienced. So then when we get to Cooper, the nephew, I went, oh, like, yeah, that makes sense. He's 23 and a sperm donor. So, used to just letting it go. So I totally thought that it was going to be him until they were like, who wants her pregnant? And I went, oh, no, it was the friend.
I mean, I feel like it was smart that I feel like who was it? Maybe it was either Churlish or Muncie. I can't remember who, which I should because they were arguing all the time. But whoever was like, maybe it's Jenna's husband.
It was Churlish.
I thought that was really smart too because I was like, maybe I knew Jenna was involved, but I was like, maybe Jenna and her husband like tag teamed it because they were bored and they were looking for something to do together. Frankly, like a little bonding, whatever. And so I thought that was a smart like leap because I knew Jenna was involved. I was like, maybe it's Jenna and her hubby. And so I thought that was a really smart connection to like make.
I love that idea. I would have loved that to have been a dead end that we went to because Churlish suggesting it was Jenna's husband and then that not going anywhere feels, I mean, it was a good suggestion. It just feels like a waste. Because then he again only had the one line and it was, you cheated on me and didn't tell me.
Tell me.
Which part is the problem, sir? I need to understand. I love this episode, guys. I think that at the end, Jenna's getting less than a year, and then Zoe is like, I don't want her to go to jail. And I understand. She was her best friend, and like
I don't care, frankly. Go to jail immediately.
She lost multiple people. She lost her husband, her best friend.
She can go. I'll find a new friend, okay? Find a new gentle dom.
So good. I'm so happy for this episode.
This episode was wild.
So wild. Again, I wonder what the complaints were aside from the mess. The plot was a mess. Yeah, it was a beautiful, twisted mess.
That's when SVU is at its best, guys, when it's a little incoherent.
While I disagree, I do like a good mystery that gets me,
It's something different, It's not like which yes, a lot of, you know, rapes do happen in an alleyway or guys, but like when it's just different when we do something that's not the standard. This is a very not, we looked into things we don't look into that much, like the BDSM community, female perpetrator. Like, yes, let's do something.
Yes.
To pick it up.
Agreed. I think that it's a weird statement I'm about to say. It's nice to finally have a female perpetrator.
Yes, because it happens.
It does. Although it is rare to have a female perpetrator where she's not hurting her own children, is interesting and different. And this is a fictional television show.
Yes.
Doreen says it was extra twisty. No complaints.
Exactly.
Lizette asks, what about the defense attorney? What about the defense attorney? The defense attorney was played by Nia Vardalos, who you probably know from My Big Fat Greek Wedding, but also has been on the show quite a few times as this character, Ephron. The opening was a little long and lost a lot of people on Twitter. I think what was so great about the opening, especially because it was long, is that after you see the girls out and whatever, and when Zoe wakes up, right before that, you assumed one of them was going to be a dead body in the next scene. Like they leave, they hug goodbye, and Jenna leaves, and it fades to black, and you go, one of those two are dead now.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden, Zoe wakes up and she has a match. And then you go, now we're going to lose her. And then she goes into the hotel room and she stands by the window and she says, yes, sir. And we assume after that, dead body. No dead bodies. I think those were great. Yes, it was a long opening, but what a surprise. No one was dead.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a good point. I agree with that. Because usually when you have a catfish situation, they're done.
Or you see not necessarily the assault, but you see an assault occur of some sort.
Yes.
I also think this is going to be a very weird, tiny detail that needs to be, I guess, acknowledged and appreciated. Zoe, every time we saw her in the lingerie, was wearing a collar with a ring on it, which is an actual like BDSM symbol. So it's such a small detail. And I pointed out because there's a show on Netflix called Bonding, which is widely incorrect. But in the first season, it got a lot of flack in the fact that she's supposed to be a dominatrix and wore like sub gear. And people were like, that doesn't make any sense. Yeah. Obviously, you don't know anything. So I appreciate this tiny, tiny detail that I thought everyone should know. Yes, Doreen says not your cookie cutter opening. Absolutely. Great episode. Okay, for those who are just tuning into this episode and didn't miss our last one, some news. This show has been renewed and Rollins will be returning for the finale. She'll also appear on Organized Crime. That's that. Taylor, I think it might be time to figure out the poll.
Man, what should this poll be this week?
Which nephew is worse?
Okay. I mean, I think it's fairly obvious.
Clear. Yeah, the one who murdered the girl.
The one that was actually doing bad things. If you guys in the comments have a suggestion for a poll, King of Kale versus King of the Moon.
No, actually,
what episode you like better?
That actually might be good since I didn't realize people didn't like this episode.
Yeah, okay. I'll just
you and I loved it
better. Because this one is although I will say these were both very strong episodes. I liked them both a lot in different ways.
I think not the only reason. I think one of the reasons that the other one, in my opinion, that King of the Moon didn't do as well in my mind is because there's that whole Velasco garbage.
Yeah.
But also, I love this episode, and it is my favorite episode of the season.
Yes, and I feel like the King of the Moon is a bit more serious, and this one's a bit more like funky, like
for sure.
But both of them like masterpieces in their own right.
Masterpieces.
Yeah.
Honestly,
listen, my definition of masterpiece is probably not the same as your guys's.
To be fair, I think that King of the Moon really was a master, like the story and the visuals, that was a masterpiece. This is so good.
Here's the thing. Babes, masterpiece. Dreams Deferred, also a masterpiece. They're just different kinds of masterpieces. They're different
Sure. You're right. I think, all right, I think that's the poll. Which one do you like better? I will abstain from voting since I've left Twitter, but also I will abstain from voting because we know I'm biased and this is the one. Okay, it's time for, and we'll tell you where to find the poll in just a little bit. What did we learn?
She's my aunt. It's only hot and porn.
That is a good one.
I do think I already knew that, I will say, going in.
Well, to be fair, she's not as biological aunt.
Yes, but still.
I'm just saying it's like the Cruel Intentions.
Yeah, that's fair. I think I don't know that I learned anything like super legitimate.
What did I learn
in this one?
I mean, to be fair, I knew a lot about I know a lot about this BDSM stuff, so none of that was new.
I learned Velasco's taking a bit of time off.
Yeah, because he's got to fucking turn over chili.
Is that what happens in the next one?
I'm not going to tell you.
Tell me.
That he's gone because he has to turn over chili. That's why he's gone.
Okay, this is going back to the last episode, but sorry, I'm doing that. But Olivia was like, it doesn't have to happen today. It doesn't have to happen tomorrow. That is like a quote that means like it can happen like in a couple of years, maybe. No, it's happening now, I guess.
Yeah, she was like, I guess he can't return to work until.
That's crazy. That's not what I thought that last scene between them meant at all in the last episode.
I see.
When you say it doesn't have to happen today, it doesn't have to happen tomorrow, that makes me think that it's not urgent. You know what I mean? But I guess it was very urgent. I
mean, maybe I'm wrong. Maybe you're right, and that he's just taking time off to like think about it. What Lizette, what are these? Sorry, people in the chat are giving us episodes and I don't know what what about them. Lizette says season 5 episode 3 Mother, and then Lizette says season 12 episode where Dr. Jackson returned, Totem. What about those is my question. Moving on. Oh, those are women perpetrators.
Okay. Yes.
Now sorry, that clicked in my head now. Thank you. Yes, thank you. What did I learn? What did I learn?
He's the man equivalent of a Nissan Altima. All men are equivalents of a Nissan Altima, in my opinion, but
in your opinion, yes. Yeah, that's just a you thing. What did I learn?
Why she decided to become the sperm fairy. You learned that?
I think I've learned that this is my favorite episode of the season.
Okay, that's fair.
Because I guarantee there was another episode this season that I felt this strongly about. This is my send in the clowns. I'm going to be honest.
Fair. That's so fair. I'd have to look at the list of episodes. I'm sure this is like close to the top of mine though, for sure.
You've enjoyed a lot of them.
I have.
But this one felt.
Except for the ones where you went to the gangs.
This one felt so good to me. Like.
It's a classic for sure.
That's such a weird fucking thing to say. But like, I've literally been bitching for seasons about this idea where a defense attorney uses BDSM against people. And so to see Carisi stand up to it, I love it. I love it so much.
I agree.
I don't know why this is a hill I want to die on.
We all have them.
Yeah, but it doesn't make any sense.
Well, yes, it does. It's something you feel passionate about and it's something you're interested in. So why would you not want to see it reflected like accurately?
I don't know. It makes it sound like I'm very entrenched in the BDSM community, and I am not. I am.
No, here's the thing. Even if it's just an interest, like I love cults, like to learn about them.
Oh,
I think
that's
it's an interesting
true.
community. Like we all have our stuff, but we're like, yes, when that topic comes up, like we love to see it. Religion, I think, is a crazy thing to like. You know what I mean? When there's the ultra religious people, and that's like we all have our things. Teens, rebellious teens. I have so many.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I've learned that Taylor will defend me and make me feel good.
I will. Of course I will.
I love you.
I learned that you love me.
You didn't know that already?
No, I did.
Oh,
It was
okay.
nice to hear it.
All right. I'm sorry I don't tell you enough.
You do.
We've got off the rails.
That's okay.
Alexa learned not to go on Twitter before the episode was really good. Classic SVU. I think that's fair. I think that going on Twitter before you watch the episode could totally spoil things. And I think that that is a good lesson, actually. Yes, good call, Alexa.
Yep.
We went, you went, here's a good lesson, and we went, bah!
Well,
This is S Review. It's what we do. Well, I also learned that I shit a lot on parents this episode. And Doreen said a while ago, easy on the moms. So sorry. Yeah, apologies.
The lesson is Jenna needed to go be part of the PTA.
Yes. She needed mom
and then
friends.
she wouldn't have been like this, maybe.
That is a good lesson.
Join the PTA, watch Bad Moms, and
drink
calm down. Yeah, and relax.
All right. Before we wrap up our second episode today, if you are just tuning into the second one and missed King of the Moon, check that one out. It is available as well. If you are listening to us on iTunes, please rate and review us. If you like us, that is 5 stars. If you don't like us, that is 4 stars. The other stars are broken. I took them to make a shirt. And if you don't like us, please leave a comment and let us know how we can improve. I make no promise that we will actually do it, but let us know, because maybe it's something easy that we can fix. For example, if it's stop swearing, that seems easy, but not fixable. So, sorry. Also, if you haven't checked out our ridiculous merch, you can check that out in the link below. There is weird, stupid shit, and we did it for funsies, and you should buy some because it's funsies.
This is also going back to the last episode, but like, whatever. Who cares? I can do what I want. This is our
no,
show.
You can't.
Yes, I can.
Right.
Doorjet don't pay as much as people think, and neither does the show.
There you go.
It's $0. We do it for the passion.
We do this for the passion. We do love, so much love, especially this episode. I can't remember the last time I gushed over an episode like this.
Yeah. It's fun.
It has been a while.
It's fun when they're good, and it is also fun when they're not good, I will say. It's not really as fun when it's just like mediocre. Like I love to either like have so many qualms or like love it. It's fun to be a hater and it's fun to be a lover, and it's not.
I also like when we disagree on an episode. That's fun.
Same.
Too.
Yeah, that's true.
Okay. Again, if you need help, please reach out to RAINN 1-800-656-4673. If you leave us comments on YouTube, we love that. We very much appreciate it. It does not help us on iTunes, but we do appreciate it on YouTube. If you're watching on Spotify, did you know that there's video on Spotify? That's where we are. Video, Spotify. Okay. I think that's everything. Taylor, where can everyone find you and the new poll? Did we go over the answers to the last poll?
We did not. I don't think this week.
We did in the last episode?
Not this episode. Last episode we did, but I'll tell you again. I remember. So we asked, is it better to have a dysfunctional mother or no mother at all? Because we talked about the show Gomez episode, the dad was like, it's better to have a dysfunctional one than no mother and be in foster care. And we're like, that's a lie. And you all agreed with us, like 72.3, I think, or something like that.
Yeah.
Said it was better to have no mother at all. Like 27 was like, it's better to have a dysfunctional mother. And I think we should clarify, like, the dysfunction they were talking about in that episode was like really a lot. Okay. It's not just like, oh, we forgot to pack lunch one day. Like, that's not the level we're talking about.
She was sexually assaulting and trying to murder people.
It was really bad. And then like putting things in drugs. It was like a whole thing. So that's the level of dysfunction we're asking about. Okay.
Anyway, Taylor, where can everyone find the poll now?
You can find me in this week's poll in just a couple minutes. I will tweet it out on Twitter at alphaba_Ann. And then you can also find me on Instagram at Taylor_Gates_.
Amazing. I am Yael Tygiel. I'm everywhere at Yael Tygiel. That is YAELTYGIEL. By everywhere, I mean Instagram, because I've abandoned Twitter. I am on the TikToks, but I'm not doing TikTok really. So don't worry about that. I mean, you can check it out, but don't worry. I'm not saying don't. I'm just saying you're going to be disappointed. Instagram is the place to find me. I very much appreciate all the messages. I love when people check on me and go, why is there no episode? Where have you guys been for a month? So please keep bothering me on Instagram. And we will be back next week with the final episode we missed before we return with new episodes. Yes, it's super out of order. And no, I don't care. Again, to the writers of this episode, thank you. All right. Bye, everybody.